Okay, so I'm going to give you 5 keys to what the Niners can do to get to the Super Bowl and win it. So I'm going to give you 5 keys, and then I'm going to give you other reasons why we won't even make it to the Super Bowl. So those will be 5 other reasons too. So I'm going to give you number one. It's pretty obvious. If we can stay healthy, if this team can stay healthy, there's no shadow of a doubt we easily can win a division. If we stay healthy as a unit, and if we don't have any players coming off serious injuries, then we'd be okay. If we have the depth pieces who can make up for those losses, for some guys who may miss the season or who may miss some significant time, as long as we have those guys there, there's no shadow of a doubt we can easily win our division and potentially get the number 1 seed. So I see that as a key factor, is the Niners have to stay healthy. So, number 2, the quarterback position. We need consistency at the position. The quarterback position is very important. It's going to have to do a lot more than manage the football game. There's going to be times where we're going to face some tough defense, and they're going to force that quarterback for us to throw the ball deep, or at least at a point where he has to carry us. So it can be very important down the stretch, because you're going to face some better defense at some point. And it's going to determine who that quarterback is going to be. Is he going to be the guy that carries us? Is he going to be the guy that's going to save the day? Or is he going to be the guy that just can't handle the pressure? So we got to wait and see what happens. But that's very important in this situation for us to get to the Super Bowl, is that quarterback position. So number 3, the defense. We have to remain a top unit. A great defense can take you places. A great defense can take you everywhere. We just have to remain the same, and we have a great chance. The team has a greater chance to get there. For that to happen, we got to get some turnovers, some sacks, some picks, and limit those yards. That's the key. So that's another key for us to get to the Super Bowl. And here's number 4. So number 4, this can be very important. The trenches. And when I mean the trenches is the offensive line. The offensive line is going to have to determine our season. So it really depends on Colt McKivitz. If he can stay healthy, if he can produce, if he can do well, then I think we'll be okay. But I think that's probably going to be one of the weakest link, is the right side. Nobody knows what to expect from Colt McKivitz. We've seen very little game samples, and he seemed pretty solid. He seems a little better than McGlinchey, but that's very little games. So that can be the issue right there. I think it determines on the trenches. It really determines on how we pass block and how we run block. And that could be very important down the stretch for us to get to the Super Bowl. So that's definitely number 4. So here's the main key for number 5. Number 5, it's pretty obvious. And I know this can be something that you guys may get off guard a little bit, but I think it's going to have to come down to Kyle's coaching. Kyle's coaching is going to have to determine our season. Is he going to learn from his mistakes? Is he going to evolve better as a play caller? Or is it just going to be a little bit of his control ways? Because that can be what can hold us back. At the same time, it really determines that. And to bring it up, honorable mention. I'm going to put honorable mention on this one. It's going to have to come down to special teams too. Kicking game. The kicker is very important. And Robbie Gould, we let him go. That can be a big loss if Jake Moody doesn't deliver. If Jake Moody does not deliver, that can be the setback for us too. So Jake Moody has to have a really great rookie year for us to forget about Robbie Gould. And he has to look spectacular for this pick to turn out good. So that's honorable mention right there. So let's go with the 5 reasons why we won't even get to the Super Bowl. And here's number 1. Number 1, Jed York. And I get it. Some people are saying, let's give Jed York his flowers. Let's give him this and that. Hold on a second. If Jed York really cares about winning a Super Bowl or winning anything more, he has to hold himself accountable. He has to give Shanahan a tough love, bro. This ownership he's letting this guy do what he wants. And that's cool. But at some point, you might need to challenge your coach a little bit and tell him what you want. You want to win a Super Bowl. You want to have your legacy in the same discussion as your uncle. You want to have that name. You want to have something meaningful to that franchise, you know? You don't want to just be known as Eddie DeBartolo's nephew and be known as a part of the family that took his ownership. No. You want to cement your name in that category. And for that to happen, you got to have great leadership on this team. You got to take full accountability. So that's where I stand. So number 2, Kyle Shanahan's ego. Kyle Shanahan's ego can determine our season. It can really determine whether we get to the Super Bowl or not. His play calling can be unpredictable. His ways of doing stuff can be unpredictable. That can be a setback for us going into the season. And number 3, injuries. Injuries can really derail our season. That's not making excuses, but when you have so many injuries, you got to have the quality depth. And we'll see. That can be another reason. And then, number 4, the kicking position, Jake Moody. If Jake Moody does not have a great rookie season, that can be a setback. And then, last but not least, number 5, it can determine the quarterback position. It has to determine with Brock Purdy and Trey, which one is going to elevate us or which one is going to set us back. Those are the questions we all want to know as fans. You know, can Brock Purdy be more than a game manager? Can Trey Lance become exactly what we were hoping he can be? Or is this quarterback position just a joke? We don't know. It really determines on the quarterback position. It's the most important position in football. So that can be a downfall of our season if our quarterback does not deliver and does not play up to a solid level. If for some reason, if our quarterback can play in the top 15, there's a great chance we can get to the Super Bowl. But if he doesn't play up to a top level, then I don't know. Because it really determines how the quarterback plays. If you play from behind, if you play through a lot of pressure, and all you got to do is lead your team to a victory. We want to see how you're built for this. And we'll see how that goes. Everybody's talking about Trey. We haven't seen enough of this guy. And everybody's talking about Brock Purdy, this rookie phenom, having the Ben Roethlisberger type rookie season, and injuries happen. And then let's see what he can be. That's going to be the question. There's going to be games where we are coming from behind. Can that quarterback come from behind and win us some games? Then that can be the silence of the doubters. But at the end of the day, that's what can happen. And for honorable mention, what can be a downfall is the offensive line. The right side can really determine our season. Colt McKivitz can really determine our season. So we'll wait and see. But that's my thoughts. But let me know what y'all think. And as always, go Niners.